Welcome to Reddit Echoes, where even the smallest stories can peel back the layers of who we really are. Today you'll hear 5 stories, not about obvious villains, but about the blurry lines between right and wrong, kindness and selfishness, love and control. A roommate who steals food, then blames the entire flat. A girlfriend who simply can't promise to wake up early, and suddenly a solid relationship starts to crack. A father devastated as his daughter is rushed to the ER, all because of one terrible decision his wife made. A man who shattered trust just because he thought he knew what was best. And a father who walked away from fatherhood not out of hate, but because his heart had been hollowed out drop by drop. These aren't just Reddit stories. They're real echoes of what it means to be human. So sit back, take a breath, because you're about to witness the dark corners we sometimes spend a lifetime trying to hide. Story 1. My roommates hide their food and I got called inconsiderate. I never thought a few chocolate bars and some yogurt cups could turn my entire dorm against me. But that's exactly what happened. And if I'm the inconsiderate monster they claim I am, then let me tell you the full story, and you can decide for yourself. I'm a first-year college student, and I had only moved into the dorm less than 2 weeks ago. We lived in a shared apartment setup, 8 people per unit, 2 bathrooms, and 1 giant kitchen with 2 fridges. Everyone was assigned 1 shelf in the fridge, 1 shelf in the pantry, and at least in theory, a bit of communal spirit. But it turned out that communal spirit was the only thing missing from that kitchen. I'm not the destructive or selfish type. Seriously. I eat pretty clean. No snacks, no sweets, no 1 a.m. pizzas like my roommates constantly order. But I'm human. And on nights when I'm up studying or watching Netflix, those cravings hit like my stomach has a mind of its own. That night I walked into the kitchen like some rookie thief contemplating a heist. And then I saw a milk chocolate bar lying on someone's fridge shelf. No name on it, no do not touch warning, and it just looked too perfect. I thought no one's going to notice, and I took it. Ate it right there. No regrets. Until the next day. The following night I spotted a few perfectly lined up Greek yogurt cups in the fridge. I meant to grab one, then a second, and somehow they all ended up in my stomach. I know it doesn't sound great, but I really did plan to replace them. It's just that those fancy yogurts cost almost twice as much as the regular kind. And well, I'm a broke student. I bought a cheaper brand, then forgot to bring them to the kitchen. The day after that, a note appeared on the fridge. Do not take food that isn't yours. Standard Microsoft Word font, bolded, taped on, like some passive-aggressive declaration of war. I stared at it and muttered, unbelievable. Are we adults, or what? If you have a problem with me, then talk to me directly. Don't play fridge note games. And then something strange happened. Gradually, the fridge became empty. No one left anything nice on their shelves anymore. No yogurt, no cookies, no rich, creamy cheese. People started keeping all their food in their own rooms. The kitchen felt abandoned. Until we had a flat meeting. You know the kind, those awkward student meetings where everyone pretends to be friendly. And then it all blew up. They said someone had been stealing food, and when I said, it's selfish for you guys to hide food in your rooms, the room nearly exploded. One girl, red-faced, told me I was a greedy, inconsiderate brat. From that moment on, I officially became the untouchable ghost of the kitchen. But the real breaking point came on a Saturday night. One of my roommates threw a small party, invited everyone, including me. While I was cooking dinner, she and her friends came into the kitchen to drink and laugh. I joked, hey, got any booze? Or are you hiding that in your room too? I laughed. She didn't. One of her friends whispered, is that the girl? She nodded. I stood there holding my spoon like someone had just slapped me across the face. All I could do was mutter a curse I'm not particularly proud of, and leave. I told my family. My mom said I didn't do anything wrong. It was just a few yogurts. But guess what? They reported me to dorm management, and now I'm waiting for a student disciplinary meeting. So I came here to ask you, am I really a bad person just because I couldn't resist a chocolate bar? Just because I acted on impulse? Or because I refused to play the hide your food like it's National Treasure game? I don't know anymore. Maybe it was my fault. But if eating a snack gets me labeled a dangerous petty thief, then this dorm seems to be playing by its own rules. Story 2. I wasn't sure I could wake up in time for a trip with my boyfriend, and now he's questioning our entire future. I never thought a single vacation could shake my entire relationship like this, especially when I wasn't even the one canceling it. I just wasn't sure I could wake up in time to catch the flight. Sounds ridiculous, I know. But it's not that simple. I'm currently on a prescribed medication I have to take every morning. It helps me stay awake and focused after about 30 minutes, but the trade-off is that it completely drains me for the rest of the day. By nighttime, I crash into a coma-like sleep, deep, heavy, and nearly impossible to wake from. And the next morning, good luck trying to get me out of bed. I've tried stopping the meds, I've tried lowering the dose, but it only left me exhausted. My body couldn't function. My mood was a mess, and my focus disappeared to the point where I couldn't do anything. Honestly, I don't know how I'd live without it, and I hate that. A few weeks ago, my boyfriend's company offered him a work trip to Greece. The good news? They gave him a choice: take a large bonus, or let the company cover the full cost for his partner to come along. And he chose me. We've never traveled together before. He called it our pre-honeymoon. He planned every little detail, every dinner, every sunset we'd watch together by the beach. And I was thrilled. Until he sent me the flight schedule. The plane departs at 9:30 a.m. We need to leave home by 8:15, which means I'd have to wake up at least an hour before that. And I can't even guarantee I'm coherent before 10 a.m. I panicked. That night I sat staring at the plane tickets and thought I have to be honest. I didn't want to be impulsive, make a promise, and then disappoint him at the last minute. So I said it straight. I'm not sure I'll be able to wake up. I'll try, but I can't make a promise. He went quiet for a long time. Then he asked, "So, should I cancel your ticket?" I replied, "It's up to you. I want to go, but I don't want to let you down if I mess up." And that's when he said things I never expected to hear from him. "I don't know if I can trust you anymore. I was looking forward to something special and you can't promise to wake up early?" I said nothing. I felt like a kid being scolded for not doing homework, except the homework was waking up on a specific morning. There was something different in his eyes, like he was reevaluating everything about our future. And that hurt more than I thought it would. I used to be his constant. When he was unemployed, when his best friend betrayed him, when he was depressed, I was the only one who stayed. He once held me and said, "You're the only person I can trust." And now, just because I couldn't promise I'd wake up in time for one flight, he says I'm untrustworthy. I tried explaining. I told him I'd do everything. Set 5 alarms, ask my mom to call me, go to bed early. But I also said I don't want to lie and then break a promise. I thought at the very least I was being kind by being honest. But to him, it felt like I didn't care. Truthfully, I feel stuck. If I say yes and sleep through the alarm, I'm a liar. If I tell the truth and admit I'm not sure, I'm unreliable. Has anyone else ever been in a situation like this, where no matter what you do, you're wrong? I know I have a problem with mornings. I know my sleep habits are terrible, especially since I'm often up until 2 or 3 a.m. working, writing, or just because I can't sleep. But no one sees that. They just see that I won't change for the person I love. I apologized to him. I told him I'd try. I reminded him how much I wanted to go. But he just stayed quiet and turned away. Since then, we haven't brought up the Greece trip at all. And I don't know if my ticket still exists. I don't know if we still exist. Story 3. My wife left our 5-year-old daughter. Alone in the car, and now I'm terrified CPS might take her away forever. I never thought I'd be the kind of person to post on Reddit asking for legal advice. I always assumed those CPS took my kids' stories only happened to reckless people or dysfunctional families. Definitely not mine. My wife and I have a 5-year-old daughter. She's my entire world. From the moment she first called me daddy, I swore I'd always protect her even from my own mistakes. Or her mother's. Last week, my wife went to Costco for a shopping run. I was working from home thinking it was just a normal day. But when she came back, she looked pale. And the first thing she said was, "Don't panic." But something happened. Our daughter had been taken by police to the emergency room because she had been left in the car for over 30 minutes. She said, I just meant to run in and grab a few things. It was supposed to be quick. But I got stuck at checkout. And I froze. There is no excuse for leaving a 5-year-old child alone in a car, especially not on a blazing hot day like that. She said she cracked the windows a bit, but let's be real, everyone knows that does basically nothing when a car turns into an oven. A stranger had noticed our daughter sitting there alone, sweating, barely moving, and called the police. They came, smashed the window, called an ambulance, and rushed her to the hospital. And I know they did the right thing. But my heart shattered. I flew to the hospital immediately. Thank God she was okay. The doctor said it was only mild heat stroke and dehydration. But if it had been another 10-15 minutes, I don't even want to imagine the alternative. My wife, meanwhile, was disturbingly calm. She said, "I know I messed up, but did it have to turn into such a big deal? A big deal? A big deal? I almost lost my daughter and she thinks I'm overreacting." The police took statements. CPS was notified. And now I'm sitting here worrying every minute of every day that someone's going to decide we're unfit to be parents. I've been all over Reddit, Google, every forum I could find. I've read story after story. Some people were investigated for months. Others had temporary custody taken away. And all I want is to protect my little girl. I don't know if this one-time mistake my wife keeps referencing is enough for them to take her away from us forever. And yes, part of me blames her. I love her, but I can't deny the truth. She chose convenience over our child's safety. I'm starting to think, maybe I should be the one to fight for custody. I never want my daughter to be in that kind of situation again, no matter who is responsible. But what would that mean? That I become the man who drags the mother of his child to court? That's not who I am. I hate this feeling. This feeling like I have to choose between being a husband and being a father. I never thought those roles could conflict until now. I've hired an attorney. I'm not filing anything against my wife, at least not yet. But I need to be prepared. I need someone to protect me in case CPS makes things worse. And more importantly, I need someone to protect my daughter if this ever happens again. I haven't told anyone about this. Not my family, not my friends, not even my mother-in-law. No one knows. I'm ashamed. I feel like I've failed as a father even though I wasn't the one who left her in the car. Am I overreacting? Or am I right to consider fighting for custody if my wife can't understand the seriousness of what she did? I know some people will say I'm selfish, but if the only thing I'm selfish about is my daughter's safety, then I'll take that label without complaint. I'm not begging for forgiveness. I just want to do the right thing. And I hope it's not too late. Story 4. I pushed my girlfriend into a jiu-jitsu class full of men. Now her arm's broken, and she doesn't want to see me again. I never thought I was a bad boyfriend. I never thought I was inconsiderate. But here I am sitting alone, staring at the door my girlfriend was once supposed to walk through when we moved in together. And now she wants nothing to do with me. All because of what I thought was a simple decision, convincing her to take a Brazilian jiu-jitsu class with me. I started doing jiu-jitsu after the 2021 lockdown. At first it was just for fitness, but then I got hooked. Every training session made me feel stronger, more alive, less stressed. So when I started dating my girlfriend, I thought, it would be amazing if she'd join too. I could teach her. It could be something we do together, but she wasn't nearly as enthusiastic. She told me flat out that it wasn't her thing. She said a class full of big guys grappling on mats with sweaty limbs, that wasn't an environment she felt comfortable in. I laughed, reassured her, said everyone starts off like that. That jiu-jitsu was about self-defense and empowerment, and that I'd always be right there beside her during training. She actually did find a women-only jiu-jitsu class at a different academy. I didn't say anything at the time, but honestly, I wasn't a fan of that idea. Partly because it was farther away, partly because I'll admit it, I was selfish. I wanted to see her at every class. I wanted us to do everything together, so I persuaded her. Not forced, at least that's what I told myself. But I talked a lot, explained all the benefits, told stories of my friend's progress, and eventually she agreed. The first 2 months were okay. Whenever she wasn't working a night shift, she'd come with me. Never went alone. I felt happy watching her slowly warm up to it. But there were nights when she came home frowning, saying they go too hard or I feel overwhelmed. I just laughed it off, saying, that's just part of the sport. You'll get used to it. Then last week I had to work on a day she happened to be free. I said, try going alone, you can do it. At first she said no. The second time I encouraged her, she nodded. That session was a disaster. She got paired with a blue belt, someone with real experience, not a beginner. She told me he pulled an armbar technique way too fast without warning and didn't give her time to tap out. Result, her arm broke. A real break. Near the elbow. When I got the call, I thought I misheard. She was sobbing, calling me from the ER. I rushed over and there she was, her arm in a sling and her face colder than stone. She didn't yell at me. She didn't blame me. She didn't say a word about fault. But that silence was worse than shouting. I tried explaining. I said it was just an accident. I said I didn't believe the guy meant to go too hard. I said jiu-jitsu is a combat sport, injuries happen. But she looked at me like I didn't understand a single thing that had just happened. She said, I told you I didn't want this. I found a women's class. I warned you. But you still thought you knew better than me. I didn't know what to say, because maybe she was right. We were supposed to move in together next month. She let me help choose furniture, chairs, even the damn towels. But that night she told me I don't think I'm moving in anymore. I asked. Because of what happened today, she said no. Because of everything the past 2 months. Today was just the final straw. I went home and stared at a photo of us from our first class together. I remember her awkward smile in that GI, and I started to realize that smile was never real. She did it for me, and I used love like a glove to mold her into the perfect girlfriend role. Now she's gone. Her arm will heal, but I'm not sure. Her heart will come back to me. Story 5. I gave up my rights as a father after losing custody, and I don't regret it. I know what I'm about to share might make some people hate me. Maybe some will call me selfish, a terrible father, or even a monster. But I'm not telling this story to ask for forgiveness. I'm telling it because I've let go. And I need someone, anyone, to understand why. 3 years ago, I walked out of a courtroom with a verdict I never imagined I'd receive. I lost full custody of my children. I was granted visitation 2 days every other week. No rights to their education where they lived, medical decisions, nothing. Me, the man who used to read them bedtime stories every night, who taught them how to ride bikes, who bought their first camping tent for a birthday surprise, was now just a shadow on the sidelines. And the reason? Because I'm not their mother. I wasn't abusive. I didn't have addictions. I had no criminal record. But in the court's eyes, their mom was more emotionally stable and better able to provide a nurturing environment. And do you know what that environment looked like? A house I wasn't even allowed to step foot in. After the ruling, I started to feel distant from my kids. Our rare visitations became a chore, something scheduled, not shared. Every time I picked them up, I'd hear things like, "Mom said you're not allowed to buy us ice cream," or "Mom said no park today." She was always present even when I was holding their hands. I became a father by calendar and supervision. I paid over 35% of my income in child support. The court said it was fair. But what's fair about standing on the sidewalk watching your own child walk into school and not being allowed to take a single photo? I started to resent everything. Then I stopped feeling. Not that I stopped loving them, but it was like my heart started going numb. Like someone was scooping parts of my soul out piece by piece, month by month, year by year, court date after ignored request. I went to therapy. I hired another attorney. I begged the court for more time, a summer vacation, one extra birthday. Every time denied. One judge even looked me in the eyes and said, "You need to learn to accept reality." So I did. And then I let go. One day, after dropping my kids off at their mother's, I looked into the rearview mirror. My daughter had fallen asleep in the back seat. I parked in front of the house, gently woke her, leaned in and kissed her forehead. And I whispered, "Goodbye. Not see you soon. Not until next time. Just goodbye. Forever." I didn't cry. I didn't scream. Just silence, the kind of silence I'd practiced in my head for 4 years. I'd said goodbye in my mind 1,000 times. That day, I finally said it out loud. I went home. I sold everything that belonged to the kids: beds, books, toys. The puzzle set I used to spend hours putting together with my son. All of it. Those things, once symbols of love, had become weights chained to a version of life I no longer had access to. I packed them in paper bags, drove to their mother's house, left them on the porch. No message, no note. And I cut myself off. I waited a few weeks, hoping for an email, a call, a "please come back." But nothing. No one called. No one looked for me. I was no longer a part of anyone's life. You can call me a quitter. Maybe I am. But if you've ever loved someone so deeply that it tore you apart to be shut out of their world, you'll understand some pain can't be healed, only ended. I used to be a happy man. Now I'm not. And if you ask me if I regret it, I don't know. But at least now, I'm done waiting for nothing. You've just heard 5 stories that made people sigh, get angry, or fall silent with empathy. Sometimes the storyteller was in the wrong. Sometimes they were just a victim in a world that refuses to listen. And sometimes there simply wasn't a right answer at all. But what about you? Who do you think had a point? Who crossed the line? And if you were in their shoes, what would you have done differently? Let us know in the comments. We read everyone. And if any of these stories struck a chord with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the next echo. From Reddit Echoes. We'll see you in the next story.